Mike Greenberg was on ESPN. He's always on ESPN. And he has proclaimed that if Danny Hurley takes off from college to go to the Lakers, I'm piggybacking on John Harbaugh, or Jim Harbaugh, really, not John. I'm messed up today, going from a national championship at Michigan to the San Diego Chargers. That college sports as we know it has changed. Well, let's hear first and foremost from Greeny, and then I will react to it for you.
This story solidifies that what we are witnessing is the end, the very end of collegiate sports as we have always known them. If Dan Hurley takes this job, and listen, I know Woj a long time. I know him well enough to know that if there wasn't a very, very good chance this was going to happen, or is going to happen, Woj does not let me do 2 hours of TV on it. Woj does not. I think the story is enormous in so many ways. But if in the same year, Jim Harbaugh wins college football's national championship, as he did in Michigan, and Dan Hurley wins college basketball's national championship, as he did at UConn, and both depart to go to the pros, it will be the first time since at minimum 1936, when the defending national champion coaches of both college football and men's basketball were not back with their following teams the same year. And I do not think that is a coincidence.
Well, it's not a coincidence, but college athletics has changed as we know it as soon as they started paying players. Because what happens is, as soon as you start paying players, it doesn't stop. Meaning NIL, name, image, and likeness. I go to school. I become a good player. I get a car deal. I maybe show up on some ads, do a camp. Well, that's way different than what's going on right now with NIL. It's pay for play. Free agency. Imagine NFL teams allowing every player on that roster to be a free agent every year. Major League Baseball, same thing. Would it be great for the players? Of course it would be great for the players, some of them. But would it protect the sport? Of course not. Would it protect the franchises? Of course not. So I agree with Greeny. I do. It is the end of college athletics, but I think we're already at the end of college athletics. Look, make no mistake. Danny Hurley leaving UConn, a New Jersey guy coaching at a place where not only can you win, but you can win historically with a fan base that is rabid, in a town, in an area that both he and his wife have professed love for. But you got to look at it maybe another way. You can look at it like Danny Hurley is running away from college basketball. Absolutely you could. But you could also look at it, well, like 95% of people would look at things. Man, he's going to double his salary to live in a nicer place. If you consider L.A. a nicer place than Storrs or Hartford, Connecticut, that's on you. It doesn't matter. But seemingly, I should have stopped at the period. I should have stopped at the double your salary. Maybe triple his salary. I don't know. But most people would say, I'm going. I'm done. Adios. Wait a second. I can go to OutKick and double my salary from ESPN. Adios, ESPN. You know, and let's be honest, college coaches going to the NBA has been happening for a long time. I'll go back for you. Chuck Daly, legendary coach of the Pistons, was a college coach that went into the NBA. I mean, look, this isn't a first, but it is tied in, though, now to college athletics and what is happening. Let me tie it in. You talk to coaches who are like, yo, I can't believe I just spent an hour talking to a kid about our school, as Mike Bray talked about yesterday, the business school, how he's going to live, where he's going to live, the opportunity to play. And all they wanted to know was how much money you getting me? What's my number? Where's my bag? And you're like, damn. All right, well, I just wasted an hour of my life talking to this person. Or guy comes in and says, hey, coach, man, oh, man, I had a great year. I want $1 million. Get out of here. Okay, I'll get out of here. I'll go to school X for $1 million. And that's what's exhausting. That's what's ridiculous. See, Harbaugh was smarter than everybody. Harbaugh made himself look really, really good by saying, I want revenue sharing for players. Well, he knew it was coming. He knew he was leaving, and he was already making his. When you're already making yours, then you can go be Peter Pan. No, not Peter Pan. Who's the guy that robbed from the rich and gave to the poor? That wasn't Peter Pan. Peter Pan never got Robin Hood. Yeah, you can go do that. But how does that affect the sport? I'll tell you how it affects the sport. It's simple. The sport's going to suck for those that care. I don't care. I'm going to watch. That's all I'm going to do, and I'm going to hope I should care. My son navigates his way through it. But my son is coaching Illinois State, and I told him, look, don't ever complain about the NIL. Don't ever complain about revenue sharing. Always be on the side of the players publicly because that's what you got to do. And I hope he understands that. But Greeny's not wrong. Football coach left for a variety of reasons. Now, that's no different than Pete Carroll leaving. I mean, Pete was in the NFL, went to college, USC, cheated his nuts off, got himself a national champion, and got out ahead of the posse. Same thing as what Harbaugh did. So maybe take Harbaugh out of it. But here's the bigger picture. When you look at Danny Hurley, you also look at Roy Williams. You also look at Mike Krzyzewski. You look at Jay Wright, and you say, wait a second, all these guys got out. Why? Well, maybe it was age, maybe it was tired, but college basketball is a cesspool right now, and it's going to get more of a cesspool. I was at a dinner last night. Guy told me that it was a $100,000 donation per plate to go to an Indiana NIL function. Now, good for Indiana. They got that kind of cash, but bad for the coach. Because the coach is beholden to the player. The coach is beholden to the booster. It's a complete 180, and I kind of dig it. But but Greeny's not wrong. He's just a little late to the party. The demise of college athletics started the minute NIL was approved, and we're seeing it. Speaking of Hurley, Gino Auriemma thinks he may have pushed Danny Hurley over to the Lakers. Now, he doesn't. I don't. You don't. However, this is pretty facetious, but it is kind of funny. Here's Gino Auriemma talking about Hurley.
So what's your reaction to Danny Hurley?
You know, this is really funny because I happened to be at a thing with him last night, and I have no idea what's going on. You know, I have no idea where this is going and what's happening. But I just leaned over and I said, hey, I think you can win a lot of championships with the Lakers. More so than a guy who's never coached. And he just looked at me and, nodded, and we had a good laugh. And then this morning I wake up and voila. So I don't know what's going on. And it'd be a bad day for UConn for sure if this happens. And it would be a great, great day for Dan Hurley. And I'm sure a bittersweet day for Dan Hurley.
Okay. Now you're being serious that you did bring this up to him last night about the Lakers, John?
Out of nowhere, I just leaned over and I said, I don't know why it came to me. I don't know why, but I said it. And if you ask him, he'll tell you. And I had no idea. And I woke up this morning and somebody sent it to me and I went, you got to be kidding me.
I know.
That's pretty good. Who knows? But that's just how coaches go. Man, you could win championships there. Man, you're a better candidate than this guy. Hell yeah. Nah, it's pretty funny. I always wonder, though, when I hear Gino Auriemma talk, coaches are sneaky. Like, Danny Hurley is doing what Gino Auriemma tried to do and probably did do early in Jim Calhoun's career, which is overshadow him. And then they were both dynamic, right? I mean, they were like Urban Meyer and Billy Donovan. They were just winning. But these were in the same sports, men down here, women down here, and let's have at it. I don't know. I don't know whether Gino wants him out, and I really don't care. But I do know this. Yes, college sports has changed as we know it. And if I'm Danny Hurley, man, and the Los Angeles Lakers offer me $17.6 million, which is 100,000 more than Steve Kerr makes at 17.5, I still ain't taking it. I'm not. That's just me. I'll stay with my $6 million. I'll stay with my $500,000 a month, living in Connecticut. doing that as opposed to go out and deal with all the jackasses in L.A., have to kiss LeBron's ass, have to kiss Bronny's ass. I ain't doing it. Money talks, BS walks. I guess I'm BS. I would walk and say, thank you for the interest. Let's jack this up a little bit, UConn. I ain't coming to the Lakers. But that'd be hard. But I'm the same idiot that left West Virginia in a guaranteed 7-year, $500,000 minimum a year to go back to Bowling Green for $125,000 a year because, well, they were lying, thieving dopes. Never lost a minute's sleep, though. Anyway, I'm starting to get tired of this. I'm just starting to get tired of this. I think you are, too. Caitlin Clark, it ain't her fault. Like, she's back in action tonight. All right, through Sunday, let me give you some stats. A lot of African-American folks are mad at me. Not me, per se, but I put something out that said, why is it so offensive to say I watch the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark? That's offensive. Guy said, well, Dan, it's because you disrespect and discredit all of the other players. I'm not the one doing that. You're not the one doing that. The numbers speak for themselves. The TV ratings speak for themselves, period. I mean, why are facts considered racist? Why are facts considered, I don't know, why are they considered somehow evil? The facts are these. Games, listen to this. Games in the WNBA featuring Caitlin Clark average 1.099 million viewers, while games that do not feature Caitlin Clark have averaged 414,000, proving Caitlin Clark is single-handedly carrying the WNBA, at least on TV. That's a fact. So why is it offensive? Nobody's discrediting anybody, but the facts are the facts. Caitlin Clark is moving the needle. Now, is she carrying the entire WNBA? I don't know if I would go that far, but she certainly brought attention. And actually, last night, Adam Silver addressed it saying he just wants Caitlin Clark to be treated fairly. Yesterday, my favorite paper, just when you thought the Indy Star couldn't get more embarrassing, just when you thought the Indy Star couldn't get dumber, they decided to put an opinion writer, African-American lady from Memphis, and let her put her 2 cents in the conversation, saying she believes Caitlin Clark's whiteness makes her marketable in the same way Elvis adopted black music. All right. Yeah, whatever. I mean, Elvis was like 1,000 years ago. Elvis wrote all kinds of things. But anyway, I read this article 3 times, and I still have no idea what this idiot is saying. But look, it's got to be whiteness. People somehow, some way equate basketball to only black. Basketball certainly has a number of black players, but basketball isn't just the NBA. It isn't just college basketball. Basketball is grassroots. Go to any park, you're going to see a bunch of white kids playing basketball. You're going to see a bunch of kids playing AAU basketball, white, black, whatever. But somehow we've gotten into this notion because of what we see, it's only a black sport. No, it's not. It's for everyone. Anyway, here's what the lady said. Let's just go through this. By comparison, the WNBA drew an average of 301,000 viewers per game last year. There are 2 takeaways from this data. Interest in the WNBA is up year over year. The interest in Caitlin Clark has outpaced the rest of the league. Well, I mean, if you've done any research at all, look at Fox's numbers when she was in college. They were historic. Look at the national championship game against South Carolina. They were historic. So really, yes, if you are a WNBA fan and you want to hold on to it, sure, you can say interest in the NBA is up year over year, if you'd like to. If you do even a little bit of research, you'll realize, whoa, Caitlin Clark moved the needle from the time the women's college basketball season ended a year ago, not this past, a year before, until now, like no other women's college basketball player ever has. Period. The numbers say it. Ratings for the women's championship game outpace the men. I mean, just stop. So you can do this, but let's go on. So what does that mean? because WNBA players and commentators continue to deny Clark is the reason for the recent surge in interest. That's right. Elvis' adaptation, appropriation of blackness is less critical to his stardom than his whiteness. If that wasn't the case, black artists he emulated would have, it's unbelievable, would have reached, I'm trying to get here. Can you scroll down, Dan? Yes, I can. Similar heights themselves. Instead, in America, predominantly white society with a very long record of white supremacist ideologies, whiteness becomes the primary standard by which all is measured, and in business, the primary market to which the products are targeted. Well, I mean, okay, I get it. You're mad that a white girl in a white country, predominantly white country, is popular. But here's the deal. Here's what nobody seems to understand. There have been really good white women going to the WNBA. Really good. Like, really good. There's a really good white woman playing in college right now. Her name is Paige Beckers. But nobody cares. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to care. See, you got to understand something about sports. Sometimes you have a good team, but that good team doesn't resonate with your fan base. So fans come if you win, but sometimes you have a good team that somehow, some way resonates with its fans. Can be black, white, doesn't matter. I've had two of those at Bowling Green, both of those, I should say. And next thing you know, it's a different frenzy. Caitlin Clark's game travels. Caitlin Clark's game sells. Caitlin Clark's game is interesting, the way she shoots the ball. But none of these black activists can understand that. They just simply want to say, we are a country of white supremacists. We are white supremacy, and this is an example, and it's total crap. If Caitlin Clark was Angel Reese, another tall girl playing around the basket, struggling to get the ball over the front of the rim, there would be no interest. Zero, zip. Or I guess maybe I shouldn't say that. There would be the same level of interest that's in Angel Reese. Okay, good player, but the same. No. This is somebody shooting from the logo. This is Steph Curry. But you're never going to get an activist to understand that. Somehow, this reality has been lost in the conversation about Caitlin Clark and her significant impact on women's basketball. She's a star, some say, without consideration of the stars who've come before her. No, she's a star because she draws us. She has doubled attendance. She has tripled television numbers. It can be because if you think it's whiteness, God bless you. She's a star, some say, without consideration. It's the market, they say, without mentioning how and why the market was built and who maintains it. Let me explain something to you. Who maintains the market? If you really want to be honest, the white paying customer. Go to any WNBA game. How many people are black in the stands, paying customers? How many are white? Go to an NBA game. How many white people as opposed to black people are in the stands? If you really want to get to it, who sustains the market? The white paying customer. Now, I'm guessing you'll make that to be racist. I don't know how you can. Again, though, I understand. Facts don't matter. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Steph Curry captured everybody's imagination. Good-looking, relatable-looking kid. Shooting from the logo, making them. A lot of people can shoot from the logo, ain't making them. See, Dame Lillard shoots from the logo, but it seems more selfish. Why? Because Dame Lillard hasn't won as much as Steph Curry. People can say, well, you know what? Caitlin Clark doesn't have a ring. Oh, stop. Caitlin Clark could have had 4 rings if she went to UConn. What are you talking about? She could have 4 rings if she went to USC, South Carolina, not the other one. But she went to Iowa, her home state, elevated it to levels it's never seen before. So just stop with that stupidity. I get it. Man, I'll tell you one thing we're finding out, though. And an African-American friend of mine said this. Boy, oh boy, are we sensitive. Talking about African-Americans. Hard to argue. Yesterday was D-Day. The invasion in Normandy. Many died. Many died. Guys that got off the front of that boat and ran onto that beach, 90% of them did not go home. It was a horrific yet successful invasion. But the United States, 80 years later, and our moronic politicians cannot help but embarrass themselves. Our president arrived on Omaha Beach and embarrassed all of us because that's what our president does. Let's get a look. Well, let's go to the next one, where the president doesn't know if there's a chair or he crapped his pants.
Distinguished guests, please welcome the Honorable Lloyd J. Austin.
Now, many people feel he crapped his pants there. Now, community notes on Twitter say he didn't. He gave a speech and then was walked off. All right. But here's the thing. We all believe that he could have crapped his pants there. No, let's be honest. If gun to head, somebody said, did this guy crap his pants on stage, Omaha Beach, many of us, 50-50, I would think, would go gun to head. Yeah, probably did. I mean, and his wife is like, hey, dummy, get your up. Yeah, but that's the problem. See, the problem is we have a leader that we believe could have crapped his pants right there. Now, I want you to think about that. That's what we believe. And you can say there's no way he did, but you would be lying. Hey, you can do that. And I saw it on Twitter. Wow, there's no way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Speaking as one who crapped his pants back when he was 6 years old, I remember that. Now, did he? I don't know. Could he have? 1,000%, and therein lies the problem. Let me go back. Shall I? Okay. Trump. Did you ever see Trump on stage doing something like that? And if you did, do you think he was crapping his pants? With the first thing that came to your mind, oh, man, dude crapped his pants. Obama. Do you think Obama ever acted like that on stage? And if he did, do you think it would be the first reaction of yours to go, crapped himself? Of course not. Be serious here. Bush Jr., same thing. Now, when he was doing coke in his younger years, I'm sure he crapped his pants, but not as president. I mean, the dude went out in a bulletproof vest, threw a strike from the mound in Yankee Stadium to tell everybody in the world, bite it. We're coming for you. Clinton. If Clinton could ever get off the intern or get off the married woman or stop stooping somebody while Hillary was in the other room, he would not be, the first reaction would not be, oh, man, dude crapped himself. I can go on and on. Now, I don't know about Herbert Hoover or FDR. I don't know. You know, JFK certainly would not have been a guy you thought crapped his pants. Nixon, no. Nixon was too busy cheating and lying. JFK was too busy stooping starlets and hanging out with Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. Reagan, maybe. Dude was old, but he was strong, he was big, he was the Duke, he was tough. But honest to God, the fact that we all can 1,000% believe, not saying he did, but we could believe it, is just so bad for our country. It's so, so, so bad. And then it gets worse. Then Biden starts talking. And somehow, some way, D-Day, a celebration, honoring, becomes a political speech about Ukraine? Here we go.
They've inflicted on the Russian aggressor, they've suffered tremendous losses in Russia. The numbers are staggering. 350,000 Russian troops dead or wounded.
So what? Ain't about that. Not so what about people dead or wounded, but don't start a war. I mean, people die in wars, don't start them. That's my theory. Figure it out. But since this guy's been president, we can't figure it out. We got wars going everywhere, so he is honoring one of the great victories with what? A political speech about Russia? Who at that time or after that time was our sworn enemy? I got to tell you, the level of stupid. And look, I'm not, what do you kids call it? I'm not simping for Trump here. I'm just simply telling you where our leadership is right now. And if you're good with that, I'm going to tell you, you're a freaking moron. Nah, you're a moron if you believe in these guys. All right. Let's hear from Anthony Blinken, MSNBC.
The same resolve that the extraordinary men and women that we're celebrating today showed then he's showing now. Because they did what they did, we're here today. And we not only have a responsibility to honor what they did, but the real way to honor it is to make sure that we're good in our time, in our moment, in standing up to the challenges that we face. And one of those we see now is aggression from Russia, not only against Ukraine, but against the very principles at the heart of the international system that were put in place after World War II to try to make sure that we didn't have another world war.
Yeah, well, the guy you work for is doing his best to start a world war. Hillary Clinton, I obviously had to chime in. Here's Hillary. 80 years ago, thousands of brave America fought to protect democracy on the shores of Normandy. This November, all we have to do is vote. Yeah, okay. So democracy, is there like, hey, somebody that's a Democrat, if you're watching this, tell me when the next convention is. No, I'm not talking about the Democrat convention where they elect their nominee. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking where you all get your same ideas. Democracy will be lost. Really? Okay. Feels like it's lost right now. I don't know if you saw in New York City, but listen to this. Illegal immigrants are blocking the streets in New York City demanding. I don't know what they're demanding. I don't care what they're demanding. They're blocking the streets of New York City demanding. Now, I got to tell you, that's a threat to democracy. That's the liberal agenda at work. 350, while we weren't looking, by the way, 350,000 illegal immigrants were basically sworn in as citizens. So what does that mean? That means they can vote. What do they think that means for Democrats? They're going to vote for Democrats. That's a lot. Seriously, that is a lot. I don't know what it means, but somebody told me it's Comic-Con. I don't know if I screwed that up or what, but hey, whatever. My God, man. My God, man. Troubling situation, according to my guys, is brewing in Chicago with Angel Reese in the sky. Reese shocked basketball fans when she took to X to claim her team was being harassed without providing any details. Here's what Reese had to say. Finding out our team's hotel to pull with a camera. What? As we get off the bus and put it in my teammate's face and harass her is nasty work. This really is out of control and needs to be addressed. Do we have the video of what it is? I don't know if we do. But if we do, it's a whole lot of nothing. It's one dude, at least right now. Can we play the video? Maybe we don't have it. Another Sky player. Getting harassed at our hotel is where the line needs to be drawn. Some fans have no chill. Oh, I want to have chill. We have security. They did a great job of de-escalating the situation, protecting us. It's still extremely weird and crosses the boundaries, meeting us right where we get off the bus. What are you talking about? We had eggs thrown at us at Indiana when we played at Purdue and Kerry Quad was right across the street. I got called some very, very homophobic names, and I hardly played. So these WNBA women are mad because one guy with a camera asked Kennedy Carter if she's reached out to Caitlin Clark? That's a problem? Damn. I mean, what are we doing? Oh, I guess it's not confirmed as an official video. Yeah, that's probably good business. I saw the video. I'm like, well, all right. Now, there are rumors that other videos and names were being called, and if they were, certainly there's no place for that. All I can go by is what I've seen to this point. And I ain't listening to no athletes talk about nothing. Anyway, an op-ed, people are mad at Bill Maher, right? I mean, our most tolerant seem to get upset when they don't like the opinion of other people. Like, I like the opinion of other people. I've told you before, I'm dangerous because I listen. I listen. That's what I do. That's what we all should do. No? Come on. You're supposed to listen and then talk, not be listening, waiting for you to say whatever it is you have to say, regardless of what the person that said anything to you said, if you can follow that. Listening is a skill and a good one. But here's the deal. When you listen, you have a conversation. When you're psychotic and you're intolerant you go off on others because their opinions don't jibe with yours. An op-ed published on a CNN website this week written by a woman named Nicole Hemmer. And the article took aim at Jerry Seinfeld, Adam Carolla, and Bill Maher. All right, why not? Look, if you're going to write an article in Indy, write it about racial stuff with Caitlin Clark, an op-ed, which we just talked about. It'll get traction. Hell, I'll let them have traction just to show how dumb the Indy Star is. If you're going to write an article and you're going to talk about anti-Semitism or you're going to talk about people on the left that shouldn't be saying things that support the right, you do it on CNN. Oldest time. Anyway, but whether he likes it or not, his vision of gender and masculinity shared by many male comedians and not for nothing conservative politicians is deeply political, and its prominence in the comedy world bolsters the retrograde politics now flourishing in many parts of the United States. Oh, man. How horrible. Comedy. Bad. There's more. Shticks about women have long been a prominent feature in stand-up comedy. But the Take My Wife Please comedy of the mid-20th century has gradually morphed into something with more bite. Aw, honest to God, comedy's making me sad. It is. A cultural commentary that frets over the emasculation of men and lays the blame at the feet of women. Yeah, great. The emasculation of men is not women's fault. Women want men. They don't want little bitches. But men, apparently, I don't even know how this even started, feel like, well, I got to be a little bitch. Don't. Simple. While women take the brunt of the blame for these conditions, their critiques are also linked to anti-gay, anti-trans, panic proliferating, and being visibly weaponized in the political area. Yeah, I'm not smart enough for this. This is just words. What the hell are you doing here? This is just words with no meaning. This is just complaining. No need for fact-checking or analytical essays. The comedian's accuracy can be measured in the audience laugh. Well, of course. A sign of recognition that the comedian has hit upon something we all know deep down, but that no one is willing to say. All right. Gay Rob. Okay. Mansplaining. We make up words, right? We always make up words. Mansplaining, doxing. All right, well, whatever. Just another of the worst among us, the female liberal. Without question, the female liberal is the worst human being currently walking this planet. Nonviolent crime division, although sometimes they do get violent. The mass murderer, the guy that kills kids, that kind of thing, yeah, they're the worst. I'm talking nonviolent crime division. The woke liberal female, horrible, intolerant. Oh, give you a headache. In fact, I got a headache. Let's talk football. Whenever I get a headache from a whole WNBA or women being mad about comedy or men being mad about women, I got a headache and I got to talk about football. So what we do here, yesterday we talked about Tua when that headache came. Today we're going to talk about a guy I really like, Ryan Kelly. Ryan Kelly calls out Roger Goodell. He blasts talk of an 18-game schedule. Absolutely not, is what Ryan Kelly says. Reports have surfaced also in my city that Anthony Richardson has been dealing with a shoulder. Good. Let's talk football. All right? I want to hear about Roger Goodell from Ryan Kelly. Let's do it.
No, I mean, I think if people understood how hard it was to play 16, then they took another one, right? And it's like they get rid of preseason games. Well, okay, well, who's that going to hurt, right? The guys that don't have the shot, the guys that are the undrafted guys or late-round guys that need to go out there and improve themselves, right? It's not, and I think that the fans see it as like they don't watch the preseason games. Well, they have no idea what goes on inside the building, right? So, 18 games sounds great when Roger was saying it on the Pat McAfee podcast, but until you're the one that went out there and put the helmet on for 18 of those games, they kept talking to me.
The guy on the left, nodding his head in a hat, is a guy named Stephen Holder, the worst NFL reporter in America. He's been here like 10, 11 years, has never broken a story, but you see what he does. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the indie media for you. Look, I don't give a damn. I'm going to be very clear about this. I want 30 games. I wouldn't be sitting there nodding my head if I was Stephen Holder. Like Stephen Holder, they should put in at Schefter. Stop breaking every story in Indy. Give one to this guy, Holder. He's never broken a story. He's never written anything interesting, and he complains about being a black man in America constantly. All right, fine. Great. He's got a fantastic job. But anyway, every time I see him doing that, I have thoughts. But anyway, I don't give a damn, personally, whether players want or don't want 18 games, 20 games. I want 20 games. I want the NFL to start September 1st, and I want it to end, and I'm being serious about this, April 1st. I want an NFL game on a Sunday and a March Madness, a real March Madness, not a made-for-TV matchup. I want a March Madness NCAA game right after or before. I don't give a damn. I know I'm supposed to. I know we're all supposed to care about the players. I don't. Let me tell you this. Not one of these players gives a rat's ass about you. I mean, look, I had a guy say, well, you didn't go to Bobby Knight's funeral. Well, first, I wasn't invited. And second, Bobby Knight and his kids didn't come to my dad's funeral. What do I give a rat's ass about? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in this soft world, I'm too harsh. But sitting there listening to players, I get it. They get hit all the time. But let me tell you something. My uncle used to go have to work in the mill every day. My brother-in-law goes, and he's an iron worker, every day, 8 hours a day. He doesn't play at work on Sunday, take the rest of Sunday off, Monday, Tuesday, get back to work on Wednesday. He doesn't do that. Well, he's not involved in 8 car crashes a game. Oh, stop it. You know how much actual game action there is in an NFL game? About 3 minutes. That's it. Game's 4 out, about 3 minutes. So, yes, I get it. You get banged up. Yes, I get it. You collide. Yes, I get it. You're sore. But these guys are making millions of dollars. These guys want more money. To get more money, you got to find more money. And you find more money, you have more games. I know we're all supposed to jump up and down, stand on our head, crap, snowball, sing kumbaya. These poor players, shut up. I look at my brother-in-law, who is 60 feet high, held on by a winch, who has broken his nose, broken his face, ripped his nose out from a fall, watched a buddy die on the job. I got no sympathy. I'm sorry, I don't. I watched my Uncle Jerry go to the mill, whether it was 4 to 12s, he was working midnights, whether it was 9 to 5, whatever, for 40-some years. So I don't give a rat's ass whether players want to bitch, whine, and moan and say those of us that aren't in the building don't know. I tell you what I know. My fat ass sitting on a couch watching an NFL game for 17 games ain't enough. Period. It ain't enough. And if players don't like it, or if you don't like me saying it, or if I'm insensitive, I got 2 words for you. Biden style. Kiss my ass. That's true. They don't know. So what? I know this. Nachos, wings, pizza, ass, seat, big screen TV, Sunday, 1 o'clock, because I won't watch pregame shows until midnight. That's what I like. Give a damn whether Ryan Kelly doesn't want. Shut up.